BBI. Lakini kabla ya hapo, waziri wa afya Mutahi Kagwe anaongoza hafla kuzinduliwa kwa baraza la kitaifa la kupambana na ugonjwa wa malaria. Kikao cha uzinduzi huo kinafanyika hapa jijini Nairobi. Anazungumza sasa waziri Mutahi Kagwe, tumsikize.
COVID-19 pandemic, I'm delighted to say that through commendable efforts by the government and its development partners, this predicted doubling in malaria deaths was averted. We ensured the continued distribution of insecticide-treated bed nets, the availability of medicines at our health facilities, and indoor residue spraying took place as planned, whilst COVID-19 protocols were being observed. As noble and esteemed leaders have remarked, the true measure, and I quote, the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members, end of quote. By ensuring that all Kenyans, and especially children and pregnant women, have access to life-saving medicines, insecticide-treated mosquito nets, and other commodities, we took and indeed continue to take steps forward. One of the key bottlenecks we have encountered during the COVID-19 pandemic has been the difficulty in securing essential health commodities, including malaria diagnostics, treatments, and vector control tools in a timely manner, especially when these have been manufactured outside our country. We must work together to ensure that those commodities are manufactured locally here in Kenya. By promoting local manufacturing, we shall reduce reliance on foreign manufactured malaria supplies and ensure economic development, as well as easy access and timely delivery of these essential commodities to the populations at risk of malaria. Let me make a special appeal here, particularly to our development partners and those who contribute with us. You saw the percentage of contribution that comes from our donor community. But I want to make a special appeal that they lay emphasis as well on local manufactured products and local manufactured pharmaceutical products. And I'll tell you why I'm making this special appeal. Is because on several occasions when we ask why is it that we cannot buy locally manufactured materials, we know, for example, that there are organizations that have been exporting outside of Kenya to other countries, and yet we in Kenya are not buying from them. And these are Kenyan organizations. It just doesn't make sense. But we are told that some of these situations is because of the donor condition, conditions where you have got to go for a global tender, even when these things are being manufactured here in our country. And I want to make a special appeal to our funding partners that whenever we have got these products locally, please let us buy from our local manufacturers. And two things happen immediately. One of them is that we are able to move these commodities quickly. And secondly, we provide jobs. We give jobs to our people. Whenever you order 1 million, 2 million nets to be manufactured outside Kenya and brought into Kenya, you have just exported some 5,000 jobs. And if there is one thing I know we need in this country, it's jobs. The other thing we are told is that the process by which the World Health Organization, and I'm happy that Rudy, you're here, that the process by which the World Health Organization gives approvals, because the funding agencies tell us we can't buy because the World Health Organization has not recommended that product. And the process by which the World Health Organization takes in order for them to approve a commodity, apparently is so rigorous that some of our people are unable to meet those standards. And we don't want to compromise, of course. We don't want to compromise on the kind of quality of product that we have. But we have learned through the PPEs that we are making in our country today We have learned that these things are possible. And therefore, I would like to request also the World Health Organization to look at the issue of fast-tracking, where local manufacturers can be assisted and where local manufacturers can be given priority. Because what we saw this year, and we have continued to see it, is that unless we are locally, unless we rely on ourselves locally, we will continue to be challenged. Take the current issue of vaccines. It is not that we don't have the money to buy vaccines, but the vaccines are still not available to us. Why? Because obviously the country is making those vaccines. We will give priority to those, they will give priority to national interests before they ever come to us. So it's absolutely critical. And I want to challenge the Council, I want to challenge the donor community, I want to challenge the World Health Organization that we give priority for the local manufacturing aspect. And as a government and as a cabinet, we have pronounced ourselves on this matter, that at least the Kenya part of the funding will definitely go to local manufacturers. We also want to appeal to the local manufacturers to up their game in terms of quality, to ensure that the quality that we have of products in our nation are absolutely at best practice globally. So COVID-19 is also a stark reminder of the impact of disease on our socio-economic development. This is also true of malaria. Past studies have demonstrated that malaria reduces economic growth by up to 1.3% each year, and estimates suggest that workers miss nearly 12 million days of work each year in Kenya because of malaria. This is equivalent to removing the productivity of some 50,000 workers from our economy. Similarly, malaria reduces academic achievement and causes children to miss upwards of 3% of their schooling. A healthy economy requires healthy and educated workers, especially as we look forward to the recovery following the ongoing pandemic. To succeed in our mission to end malaria, we must address financial resource gaps that have been demonstrated here by the able presenters. And what Githuka said about the resource gap of 24 billion to fully implement our current malaria strategic plan, which covers between 2019 and 2023, is indeed a challenge. We must close this gap to ensure that we have the required malaria supplies to not only treat malaria, but effectively prevent it in the first place. And I want to emphasize that, the issue of prevention. And it is not just malaria. As a ministry, the philosophy and policy that we have adopted is one of prevention, prevention, prevention.
Na mtazamaji, baraza la kitaifa la kupambana na janga la malaria, haswa maradhi ya malaria, limezinduliwa hii leo.